It is working. Yep. Hello, hello, everybody. Hope you're well. Enjoying the weekend. I'm using the laptop camera as I did before, and then for whatever reason, my skin color looks like I've seen a ghost, as I mentioned before. But I assure you, with a video producer, he's got his own equipment, professional equipment. So for our videos, this will not be an issue. Speaking of the video producer, today, afternoon, evening, I should be receiving the first draft of our video. So it's moving along super well, um, super well. And then speaking with him, others within the horse community, outside of the horse community, and so on. This video, upcoming video, then is going to be followed up. The subsequent ones will be on different topics. I have all the scientific, medical research. Another one on the equipment, and so on. So there will be in the other videos, they will be covering the various necessary topics for the campaign. And the campaign is, as you all know, to finally abolish road-cure LDR. And as I've mentioned before, it will be done via the Olympic sponsors. I wanted to make this post essentially due to Ingrid and what I've made some posts, made some comments, and I myself have been very encouraged, and it gives me certainly joy to see what is taking place. And as many of you know, in the past, I had made posts, or in comments I had mentioned that I was rather upset with what I was watching and hearing from Ingrid. And of course, I was criticized, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I look at things objectively, and as many of you know, there's I was my father, and when he was alive, other trainers that I've worked with, and at the Devon competition when I lived in USA, there's Dr. Klimka. He approached me and asked me if I wanted to train with him. And so I do have the experience that I happen to have. And so horses are very dear to me. And so I say and do as I say and do. And so then with Ingrid, what has taken place for me is that now, recently, the video that brought it to my attention was last November with France. I said, oh, good Lord, this now is looking very promising. No longer was Ingrid's upper body behind the perpendicular. No longer was France with a shortened neck. The horse was much more through, over the back, through, and following her hands. I said, ooh. I still did see the horse at times coming behind the vertical, yeah. Especially in the canter, the pirouettes, and such, but overall, to me, it was more inclined, not quite there, but more inclined towards her dad, and of course Paul Stecken, her longtime coach. He died in 2015, and a little bit afterwards, and I could see Ingrid style is going more into the Roll-Cure LDR. And so I said what I said when I would see these things. But now I see this. And so I've made the post that I've made. Now, her last post then was a video. I posted it this morning. And what I saw, at times, it's a short, very short video, but at times with her hands, there is this happening. And then it draws France's head back. Okay, I made note of that in the post. But also there, I don't see her backwards. Also, clearly, do not see, even when the horse is coming behind the vertical, do not see the horse with a shortened neck. And then, of course, as we all know, the cascading effect, short neck, and how it affects the entire body. And then, of course, the psychological component of it to the horse. And I do not never wear rose-colored glasses. And so I will continue, I always have, continue to say what I feel is in front of my eyes. But I am very, very encouraged by what I see by Ingrid, very much so. And I've always been a person, if I see something beautiful or something, I'm drawn to it, whether it comes from humans or animals or just nature itself. You get drawn to it. And with people, whether it's riding or anything, I do approach individuals often and speak, talk, see something beautiful. Wow, that's awesome, fantastic, positive. It's positive, you know. And life should be as such, but positive as much as possible. It's difficult enough as it is, this life. But try to remain positive. Those are my feelings. And then it's interesting. I find it very, very interesting, because you see in the videos that I have seen with Ingrid, okay, she is no longer leaning back, and she went through this period without question. For me, she was behind the perpendicular. And you see in her current video that she made is what happens with a horse, but basically. And riding, as the training gets further and you get into the FEI and eventually the Grand Prix and so on, yeah, invisible aids. But in retraining a horse or a youngster, the rider should utilize what has been given to them. And so you want to make things as crystal clear. And so in other words, if you have to take your arm this way, or in giving a horse that's been stuck like this, and you need to bump it up and then allow the arms to go forward and such, or drop them down. And the same thing applies to the upper body to the front, or coming back, or if needed, goes behind the perpendicular, to make things clear. So we have our body, the upper body, we have our arms, hands, we have our legs, and to use them, of course, the training advances and aids become invisible, quieter, and then invisible. And unfortunately, whether it's the books or the I mean, the way we're taught today, forget about that. Why even speak of it? It's a disaster, total, complete disaster. Um, but yeah, we need to be using what we have. In leading a horse from the ground, we make it clear. Stop, go, or this way or that way. The dog, the same, man, the same. Why, in riding, we become a statue? Yeah, nonsense. Um, and so back with Ingrid, I'm very encouraged, but I will not put on rose-colored glasses. So I made the post that I made today, and then making this video. Um, and but I am overall encouraged, extremely encouraged. The other thing, now getting back to the campaign, is as I've mentioned before, with the animal rights groups and so on, and their members, and the story then through them, other avenues, getting out to the general public for the boycott of the Olympic sponsors, next year's Olympics. But in the past, in speaking with animal rights groups, and I'm very, I know their position. They don't like riding. I myself, and in speaking with them, I've expressed my own viewpoint on it, that I disagree. In my life, I've ridden over 1,000 horses easily, and in that, within those horses, only one that did not enjoy the experience. And I attribute that to the mental disorder, just like humans have a disorder. But for the most part, I mean, it's like I used to be a competitive runner when I was in high school. The 5,000 meters cross country, 15 minutes and 4 seconds. I was good. Although sometimes I was tired many times. Work at the stable, before school, after school. Yeah. But some days when things were good, I was rather good. So I had scholarships. Eventually, at one point, I ran away from home to train in the mountains of Utah. In the altitude, I used to run 150 miles a week. Not every day did I want to put on my running shoes, was overjoyed by putting on my running shoes, no. But once you're into your training, you feel good. And afterwards, you feel good. Everyone knows of the positive aspects of exercise and so on. Now, using my ski machine, I don't look forward to it. No. But what it does for me during the workouts and so on and afterwards is a benefit. For me, I feel wholeheartedly it's the same with horses. In retraining the horses that I have, I can't tell you how many times, so many of them, if they're in the pasture, whether I pull up with my car or whatever, and they come to the gate. And so I know that they enjoy the experience. I know this, and this is what I've explained to the animal rights groups, and so I am a believer in the benefits of dressage for the well-being, psychologically and physically. I am a believer in that. And so, I mean, this is what I wanted to say today. Well, mention a little bit about what's happening with the campaign, what's going on with the video producer in the future, and also speak about Ingrid. And to be clear, and this is something that I have always done, tried to do in the past, and will continue to do. And so I am very, very encouraged, but at the same time, like the post that I made and what I'm saying here regarding what I saw, her last video, and this action, I will say it. And other rides, you guys see the posts and so on, hideous. And it is sadistical, and it is barbaric. And I cannot rely on Ingrid alone, because there was a time, you see, where we had all these wonderful riders such as Ingrid. We did. And there was a period there where they had a choice to make. Do we continue the way we've been taught? And they were super fantastic riders. Or do we change to cover the ass of the barbaric ones? Well, they made their choice. If they had bonded together, this fiasco of what the FEI has become would never have gotten to this level with those riders. Imagine, at the competitions, the judges then placed in a real quandary what to do. We have now enough riders, spectators watching, and the choice they would have to make. And then this would never have escalated. And I have mentioned this also when Klimka passed, and there was a few others, but with Klimka, at that time he was going to be focusing more with the judging. And he had said, any judge that does not abide by the rule book, up the door they go. We know what happened with Leif Tornblad. He mentioned tension regarding Anki, and he was immediately suspended. The situation is what it is, and it's been this way for 2+ decades, and it's not, and even though I'm grateful and with what I'm seeing from Ingrid, but the campaign is the way. It is the way. I do not want dressage to be pulled from the Olympic Games. No, that's not my goal. But I think that could very well be the outcome. That's the choice for the FEI to make. But I know the FEI well enough. The core is rotten, rotten. And those individuals never change. They're psychopaths. They will not change. So it is the way it is. And so we have the campaign. Yeah, super good, you all. I guess that's what I will need to say. And then soon enough, well, today I'll get the first draft of the video from the video producer. And then when the time comes, I'll post it. But I had mentioned in approximately a month, but it seems like it could be sooner. Yeah. Anyway, I wish everybody a wonderful day and so on. And thank you for listening. Super. I need my glasses here to hit the right button. Super. Alrighty. Bye-bye, you all.